Hello, everyone, and welcome to my corner of the universe. My day job is I'm a choral director and a music specialist and a vocal specialist, particularly in young and developing choirs. And the one thing that I always did for every concert, no matter if they were older people, younger people, whatever, is there was always something that I tried to do to bring them together for that concert, something before the concert. Now, it could be as much as a pan of chocolate chip cookies, because a little sugar high before the concert doesn't hurt me at all, doesn't hurt them at all, and it makes them smile, so they genuinely go on stage happy. Sometimes it would be something as simple as just taking a sticker and giving them each a little holiday sticker or a little whatever cute stickers I could find, and they would have to hide their sticker because you couldn't be shown by the audience because it was a secret sticker. And it was a little something, but again, it's something that made them smile. At the moment, I have one choir, and it's a community choir of about 100 people. And last year for our concert, because it was our first concert kind of back in with real people, although we did a recording of it, we did have some audience, and then we sent it off as a Christmas card. I'll put the link in below because it was, actually, I don't think I can put the link in below because it was kind of a private one, but it was fun and they did a really, really lovely job. But so last year I was getting into doing some stuff with felt, and so I made these little felt holly berries, and these weren't hidden, but I had just gave each one of them a little berry, and has a little gold pin at the back because nothing says special like a little gold pin. And they each wore those. Some of them were red and had some darker berries and various things. And they each had one of those as a little present. It wasn't very much, but when you have a choir that's quite large, it could get very pricey. And this took me a great deal of time to do because I made each one of the berries individually, stuffed them and closed them, and embroidered just a little running stitch along the edge just to make it just that little more special. And it caught the light in just the right way, which was quite fun, but very, very simple. But I realized this year that I had a bunch of them left over, so I thought what I might do today is just sew some of them together. Here's some I started with last year. I had a cap, and I put this on the front of my little cap, which was quite fun. So we're going to start with that, and then we're just going to keep adding them along the way with just a little bit of a tacking stitch. Nothing terribly difficult, nothing terribly major. I'm going to use a regular thread to do the rest of them. I've done these with with some silver thread, but the silver thread can sometimes be a bit temperamental, and I've had this really terrible cold now for about a week and a half, and I don't want to do anything that is particularly going to be challenging today, at least not challenging for my mind. So putting these together, so I'm just going to pull them together and then just tack them in, really. Just a couple of stitches and then knot it off. Challenging is getting it caught in all of the, yeah, it's going to be fine. I think we just want to do that. And then we're just going to do a little knot in the back. That's probably going to be enough. I think I better take off that little safety pin because that doesn't really need to be on there just yet. So I'm just making this up as I go along. You'll probably figure that out. The first one is not going to be terribly beautiful, but that's okay too. Christmas. I'm going to just talk about my choirs today a little bit, I thought, because things are changing in my life and I am no longer doing as many choirs as I did before. and not doing quite as much music as I did before, mainly due to the pandemic and because of my husband passing away just before the pandemic. And well, I think everybody's lives changed in ways, some of which were good, some of ways which were, well, not so good. But there you go. So this will be my 3rd year without Chris, and I'm doing okay. So I've got some projects around the house I want to finish off for Christmas. This will be my last Christmas in this house, I think. I've put the house on the market, so we'll see how we go. Um, so this year, I want the house to look really glorious. And I just have little things. Oh gosh, that's not very nice, is it? Oh, that's better. I can do that. This little crappy hand sewing at the back. I can do that better. So I think we're going to just pull out the stops and make the house as beautiful as possible. I went through all of my Christmas things last year, and there were a lot of boxes of Christmas things. My family tends to decorate for Christmas a lot. So not my best scissors, but they'll do. Ooh, that's going to be cute, I think. It's just going to be like a little tiny garland, I think, which will be fun. And I'll just cut that off. There we go. So I've got most of my cloved oranges out, and they're ready to go. And they're looking great, and the house is smelling absolutely glorious, which is quite wonderful. Oops. Joe, the thread does not stay in unless you knot it. Kind of essential to do that, you know? There we go. Let's cut that extra little yucky bits off. I should have gotten my better scissors out before I did this, but some days you just want to get on with things. So I'm going to just put them through the little corners there, little tips. Join the tips up nicely. Take it back down through and just connect it up. I loved having choirs, and I love doing choirs, particularly at this time of the year. I bought quite a lot of Christmas music, but I do like repeating some things because some things people just want to sing again or hear again. Now, for me, Christmas music and Christmas choral music started at my house when I was little. The day after Thanksgiving was the official day in our family of when Christmas started, or the Christmas season started. And there is an album by Harry Simeone, and it's got things like Little Drummer Boy and Do You Hear What I Hear and Masters in This Hall, and the whole album is just reeks of Christmas. And it was the first album my mom would put on at on the Friday after Thanksgiving. So we would always start the holiday season with that particular recording. And I've used quite a lot of the music off of that, and Sleigh Ride, and there'll be a lot of pieces that a lot of people already know. And they were all came off this one album to begin with. My parents were not great music aficionados. We didn't go to concerts particularly. We didn't have a lot of we had some music at home, some albums and record player, obviously. Um, and I don't think we ever went to a choral concert. But what I do remember is my church choir was particularly good. The adults were very good, and the children's choir was excellent. And I was always so envious of the kids in the children's choir because I couldn't be in the children's choir because I didn't go to the church school, and only the children from the church school could be in the children's choir. Um, they were well trained by Mr. Brandt, who was also a wonderful organist and a lovely person. He was my first piano teacher. I started piano very late in life, as they say. Oops, there's a couple. Oh, I can put something else in between that. Let's do this one. And I did belong to the adult choir when I got into high school, and had really excellent training from him about choirs. And he was the very first choral director I ever saw, and was deeply inspired by his work. Still am. But there's something wonderful about this time of the year and about putting on music that means something to you, and just being able to sing along. Church services, growing up, especially Christmas services. Well, actually, all the services. When I was growing up, there were 3 services on a Sunday. It was a Missouri Synod Lutheran church in Hammond, Indiana, which no longer exists. They moved the church, and that church has since been knocked down, which is a pity. But that happens with old buildings from time to time. So they had first service at 8 o'clock, which was all sung liturgy. It was brilliant. It's the first time I'd ever, and we had hymnals that actually had the music in it. So it had all of it was like a piano score or an SATB choral score. I learned how to follow the music. Loved the singing in the church. And the church sang. I mean, it wasn't just some people sang. A lot of people sang. My husband's family are from Northern Ireland, and they're a lovely bunch of people and have been very welcoming to me over the years. And we've spent a number of Christmases there and gone to various services. And I think even though was raised Missouri Synod Lutheran, a lot of my family is Roman Catholic, and not particularly beautiful on the back, but I can live with that today. It's not a problem. Whew, there we go. And I think that they were all surprised at how much I actually knew. And a piece of liturgy would come up, and I would know how to sing it. And if they were doing plain chant, I knew how to do it, and I knew the tunes. And trust me, if you move to the UK, any part of the UK, and you're singing in a church, be exceedingly careful, because a lot of the hymns are real similar to the ones you may have grown up with. And then they'll get you, because there'll be 1 or 2 notes that are just not the same. And you'll just be tempted. You'll get into full flow and feel like just singing your heart out, and then you'll be wrong. So you just have to be a little bit wary. And their hymnals did not contain all of the music. It was just the words. So you had to sort of guess, which I've never quite understood, because has been a wonderful choral tradition and choral tradition in the UK. It's choirs particularly of note, and girls' choirs now also particularly of note, because they're finally understanding that girls actually have voices at that age as well, which is quite good. when I moved to the UK, warm-ups were something that, and vocal health was not really taken care of. And funnily enough, I was on the committee for the Association of British Choral Directors for a very long time. When I I came to this country, is you had a whole organization that was called Choral Directors, um, and there was nowhere to learn how to direct choirs in this country, or very few places to learn how to direct choirs in this country. That was a little disappointing and weird, and well, I found a lot of things weird here. I'm going to continue on with this, and I just hope that you all go out and have a listen to a couple of really nice pieces today. That album, I'll see if I can put it in the notes below as too, because I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube as well, so that you can have a listen. But it always just says Christmas to me, and have a sing along. It's going to make you feel so good during the day. It doesn't care what kind of voice you have, and if you don't think you can sing or if you think you can, go to a concert. Go and visit somebody. Concert season is just starting, so there should be lots of concerts for people to go to as well. Go and enjoy what the music of the season has to offer. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. Advent calendar. Time to open day 2's Ducky. I'm so excited. Here we go. Do, 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 do. Ducky day 2. I wonder what it'll be. Ooh, a black ducky. Let's see what he looks like. Ooh, it is a black ducky. Ducky the dark. Ducky of the dark. Isn't he cute? Hello, Ducky of the dark. And we'll bring out your little friend from yesterday. See if we can get him out too. Just in case people didn't get to see Ducky number 1. So now we have Ducky number 1 and Ducky number 2. How cute is that? And they're tiny, titsy tiny little duckies.